Welcome to the podcast Friday Feels, brought to you by the Office of Counseling and Wellness at Berkeley College. I'm your host and personal counselor, Sarah Nickerson. Join our journey with Berkeley students as they navigate the challenges of the current pandemic with strength, creativity, and wisdom. New episodes released every Friday. Thanks for listening. All right, well, welcome, Caroline, to Friday Feels. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing very well.
Good. So we usually just start the podcast by having the student tell us a little bit about themselves. So whatever you want to share, I'd love to hear.
Okay, great. Well, my name is Caroline. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Denmark. I am currently on summer holiday, but then in the fall semester, I will start my fourth semester at Berkeley.
Woo! That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And then I have 2 left, and then I have my bachelor. So that's great. I can almost see the
That's
finish line.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a bachelor student in the Fashion Merchandising and Management program. And it's amazing. So I'm very glad I took this path, and I went all the way to New York, which was quite a large step for me. So
Yeah, that must have been quite a transition for you. Did you find that was hard coming from Denmark? Was it like a hard transition, hard adjustment for you?
it was. I mean, it's a very different culture, both with like human and social norms, but also in the school system. So there was a lot of adjusting to do, but I feel like all the professors and the co-students were very good at like explaining everything to me and kind of
Yeah.
connecting me to the system.
Yeah, that's good. And then what has the pandemic been like for you? I mean, I can imagine it must have been really tough because you were away from home. How have you sort of survived that season here in New York and now back in Denmark?
Well, quite quickly I realized that if the coronavirus were to get to New York, it was going to be really bad. Um,
Yeah.
so I flew home in like late
Oh, good.
March. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I just kind of followed on the news. It was the only thing that was ever on the news was how New York was doing. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, it was quite difficult because I had to adjust not only to being back home and still doing online school, but also the time difference and
Yeah,
a lot of like keeping myself on track and putting to-do lists and in order to finish everything by the deadline.
for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I felt like the students and all the professors, it was a very weird experience for all of us. So there were a lot of understanding going on between the professors
Yeah.
and the students regarding the assignments. So I'm very
Yeah.
thankful for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know it's so hard to transition from on campus to online. Like it's such a different structure and obviously it being in the middle of a pandemic, but it seems like you were able to find a routine and a schedule that worked for you.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a college where we get the assignments and then they're due like the next week, so you don't have to stay up. For me, it would have been like from AM till like 6 in the morning if
Yeah,
I
true. I
had
didn't even think about that.
no.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that we just have to do the assignments and then upload them.
Yeah, yeah. What has it been like in Denmark with the pandemic? Have you guys had a lot of cases or what has been going on there?
Well, in the beginning, it was really bad. Like it just because a lot of people travel in what we call the winter holiday, and that was
Mm.
in the beginning of the year, February. So a lot of people had taken stuff back from Italy and Austria, and
Oh
then
man.
we are quite a small country. People don't even know we exist often, and
Yeah,
it was quite easy for the government to put up rules and be like, we have to stay home, and then people adjusted to
gotcha.
that and listened to what the authorities said. So we was quite quickly. I think we were one of the first schools in the world to return to schools. We did that in
Wow.
I think May, late May, and then everything is sort of back to normal. We're starting to think about wearing masks. We have never done that um,
Gotcha.
because after the summer holiday and people went out, it's the cases are rising, but it seems like they have it under control still. But it feels very comfortable and safe to know that everybody is following the rules and doing whatever
Yeah.
our authorities and prime minister tells us to do.
Yeah. So it sounds like they were able to kind of like keep it pretty small before it got worse.
Exactly. Yeah, they said that they would rather close too much too soon than too little and too late.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you been doing besides schoolwork? Like what has helped you to kind of just like stay connected or to stay busy in the pandemic season?
I've been trying to see as many as my friends as possible. Because of the situation, all of us were kind of thrown back into our hometown from a lot of
Yeah.
different places in the world. So we wouldn't have been able to meet like we've done if it weren't for the coronavirus. So I've just been seeing family and friends and trying to stay normal as possible because it's been very scary not to know when I was going to be able to return and if my visa was going to be taken away from me, which I thought at one point. And
Mhm.
yeah, I've just been trying to connect with the school and the international division, who's been very helpful, and also just stay connected with my friends back here in Denmark.
Yeah. What have you found to do since like I'm guessing the majority of things were closed for a while? Like what did you do to kind of have fun?
Yeah, in the beginning, everything was pretty much closed, so I just went for really long walks and had movie nights with
Yeah.
my friends. But very quickly, things opened up like slowly in stages, and I think by mid May, we had pretty much opened up restaurants, shops, and attractions, so it was easier for us to do activities outside as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, what's the weather in Denmark like this time of year?
Well, actually, we have for the first time in 47 years quite good summer weather. We always
Nice.
have, it's been raining through the normal summer season, which was late June till the beginning of August. And then my summer holiday started like 2 weeks ago, and it's been 30 degrees, and we do not, I don't know what that is in Celsius. Or,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's very hot. It's like Spain and Italy, which we normally never
Wow.
have. So it's almost too hot. People don't really know how to handle it, and but
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah, I feel like it's so hard when it's really yeah, because it's, like, too sweaty to, like, sit outside, but then you can't really go anywhere inside and
Yeah, but we can't
yeah.
complain because we're sometimes, well, we've been having like rain for 3 weeks straight, and we had that in July. So this is just,
Yeah,
we take what we get.
for sure. What's the mood like there? Like, are people, like, doing okay? Does it feel tense? Like, what has it been like in Denmark?
For a while there, it felt like people had forgotten about the virus, which kind of
Yeah.
frightened me and worried me in a bit. But people are good at keeping up the geist and just holding on to like the positive things. And we've
Mm.
had, I think we've dealt with a lot of like inside of our country, but also what happened in the U.S. has affected us. So we've been marching, protesting in Copenhagen, and kind of like supporting everything else that's been going on. And I feel like it's been quite the same as in New York and in the US, because we are
Yeah.
already so connected to that part of the world. So sometimes it felt like I was in New York despite being back home.
Wow, so they were doing I know that there were a lot of protests going on around the world to stand with you, United States in solidarity and with the Black Lives Matter movement, but you also had them there in Denmark?
We had two huge yeah, demonstrations throughout the entire, like the large path of Copenhagen. And that was like one of the largest ones we've ever had, I think. A lot of people went in, and
Wow.
even though at that point we didn't have mandatory masks, people wore it because you're still a lot of people in a crowded place, and Corona still exists. So it was really nice to see people standing up for something so important and also remembering to wear the masks.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's really amazing. So, like, what do you feel like has given you a sense of hope as we move forward in the pandemic? And I think you said, are you going to be coming back here for school, or are you still gonna, I guess, do it online there?
I'm gonna continue a bit online, and then I'm gonna go back definitely for the next
Nice.
semester, but I don't know when, in like the next
Yeah.
couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what gives you a sense of hope? Yeah, with the pandemic and everything going on, I guess what gives you uh, you know, what helps you to stay grounded or to keep looking forward?
I think the fact that despite everything going on and that people are dying and it's a very serious thing, people are also very good at, staying positive and trying to find the goodness in all of these small things. So if we can meet in large groups, we meet smaller, and then we create these cozy things. And if we can't do big concerts, we do small segregated concerts where you don't sit next to anyone
Yeah.
outside your infection chain. And I feel like those adaptations and changes that people are doing are keeping my hopes up and also making this a lot easier to get through.
Mm.
And then I just keep on saying to myself that
Yeah.
it won't last forever, even though it feels like it right now. It's only been, what, like 6, 7 months,
Yeah.
and at one point it will pass. So we just have to like stay positive until
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, that's always like a really helpful mantra. Like, this is not forever. This won't last forever.
Yeah,
Things will change, even though it's hard sometimes to remember that.
definitely. Yeah.
Well, my last question to you would be if you had to give some words of encouragement or advice to other Berkeley students during this time, what would it be?
Mm, I would probably say to yeah, to keep your hopes up and just focus on whatever is important, and allow yourself to have some fun and to relax a bit. I know that from my own experience that for many of these past weeks it's been school, 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 and I wouldn't allow
Yeah.
myself to relax. But then I also realized that
Mm.
when I didn't allow myself this break, I couldn't really focus and do the assignments to the best of my ability. And then I
Right.
realized that by taking these small breaks and go out for a walk, be with friends, go to a cafe or whatever, you give like a break for breathing, and you just have so much more energy to do the assignments, because there is a lot to do when you're doing online.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, taking those breaks, yeah, it's so especially when you're working from home, and doing school from home, it's like everything kind of starts to blend together
Hmm.
and like making sure that you're getting out of the house or out of the apartment to go and do other things. That's a really interesting thought. Like that then helps you to concentrate more because you're giving yourself that break.
Yeah, and also just a change of scenery. I like how, I don't know
Mm.
if that's possible in New York at the moment, to go at a cafe, but go somewhere else and study, so you don't have to look at the same wall or the same bookcase every day for a
Oh
week,
yeah.
because that really bumps you out, and you lose your motivation simply. So that would be like
Yeah.
one of the most crucial advices I think I can give.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that movement is important. I know in the city it is a little bit harder, but you can still like I try to encourage people to go to the park, if
Yeah.
there's one nearby, or just like you said earlier, like go on a really long walk. Um, because so much of the pandemic is like stuck, like feeling stuck and not being
Hmm.
able to go anywhere or do anything. So trying to figure out ways that you can do that can help both your focus and also just helps to get some of that energy moving out of your body.
Exactly. Also, that feeling of being physically stuck can like stick into your brain, and
Oh
then
yeah.
you have so much trouble getting forward from that. And I don't know, for me that was also something I experienced, feeling stuck, and then I was like, why does it even matter? Should I even do this? Because like
Mhm.
the world is ending. That's what it felt like at
Yeah.
one point.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, getting out and realizing like the world is still there, and things are still beautiful outside. You can go out, and I know that a lot of the parks in New York have Wi-Fi or some sort of place where you can sit
Mm.
close by. So that would, I mean, that's important, vital, I think, especially in a city like New York.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that perspective shift, like you said, like sometimes if we are staying in the same place, our views or our expectations can stay really small. And so like getting outside of the four walls that you're in, like opening up your mind and even just like your view to other possibilities can also create a change within yourself as well. Yeah, that's so true. I feel like so many people in the pandemic were like, what does it even matter? Like
Yeah, exactly.
everything is like going to crap anyway. So
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, that you figured out a way to kind of get yourself out of that.
Yeah, I would say so, that was like my first and the most important step I took, was just getting out of the same scenery every day, and like, yeah, exactly, realizing that the world is not ending.
I know. Amazingly enough, it's not.
No. And also like remembering that these things happen. Like we do get pandemics. It's happened
Yeah.
before
Mm.
and we'll get through it together.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking at the past and seeing all the things that we've already been through and knowing that we can do it again.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you so much, Caroline, for being with us today. I hope things in Denmark continue to go smoothly for you, and we look forward to you coming back to New York City when things have gotten a little bit better,
Yeah,
hopefully.
thank you. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your wisdom.
Of course.
All right, have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
That's all for now. Join us next week for another episode of Friday Feels. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe. Be well.